Alright, I am back. So, last stream we just saw how to do classes and just how to do methods. Now we will be seeing classes. Uh, so let me tell you something about classes, right? Uh, we have seen how to create classes. Now we'll see how to create we have seen how to create objects. Now I'll show you something about these variables. Oh my god, stop it. Yeah, there we go. Right? Now, let me just create an object of my class. Now, what you see here is tutorial obj equals new tutorial. I've already explained what this does in my previous tutorial of Java. And this here, this is basically a variable of this class that can only be called using this object. So, if I want to call it in a method, then I'll have to do system out println, and then I call the variable like so, obj.x. Right? Now, I will just show you how to do this. Just a minute. Right. So where was I? Yeah. Okay. So now let me just continue. I will print this out, and we should get the output of 10. As you can see, we have 10 over here, and this is basically because we have again. I just showed you we have set this x to 10, and then we call x, which is 10. And on the output, the terminal screen, we saw 10. Is it visible? Yes, it is. Okay. So now I will be showing you different things. So firstly, we have private int x. Now, I will tell you how every one of these work, right? So this is basically a class attribute for x. Now there's different attributes that you could give to a single thing, right? So these are basically like modifiers, access modifiers for x. Public is the access modifier for x, which tells the kind of access we're giving to x. Now, public is basically a class which is this basically says that this is not only accessible to now if I say public over here, if I do public in text, so this is not only accessible to the tutorial class, but is also accessible to other classes I create around it. So just to show you, I will create another class which I'll call as other, right? So this is another class called other, and this will basically let's do right, so let's just do a few multiple class. Just a minute. I'll get to it. I just need to check something real quick. Oh yeah, it's not getting enough video. Just, I think this should do it. Is this working? If I'm correct, this should work. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. So basically, public int x. So if I were to, let's say, shift this public int x over here, Instead of tutorial obj, let's do something more like other obj equals new other, right? Now this will basically say something like this, that this will not only be accessible to the class other, so not only to the methods of the other class, but also the different classes around it, which is like tutorial class, which is near other class, right? It could also be far, that's not really a thing, it's just a way of explanation. Right, so this is just a class around it, so that's one. Not only that, if I create it in a different, let's say, a different class in a different, um, you know, different file, right, in a different Java file, then that would also work. Then we have private, which means that if I make this private, and I do private in X, this is no longer able to get this, because X has private access in other. Which means now this is private. It is only available to the other class's methods, not any other method. Right? Now, if I do not do anything, if I just like let it be like this, then it will be accessible in the entire package, right? But that will be only in that one package, which is basically the project I create using BlueJ, right? So it'll only be accessible to that, nothing outside that. So if I create another project, it won't be accessible to any other project outside, right? I think I'll teach you more about packages later. Then we have protected, which is something I'll explain later when I get to classes, subclasses, like superclasses, subclasses, and all that. Another thing is final. Right, we have wait, I'll empty this one and do tutorial again. Now if I were to, let's not do this, I can even explain it over here. So if I were to say final int x, right? So now this basically says that the value of x is 10 and I cannot change it, right? Value of x will be 10 and I will not be able to change it forever. It will be 10 and it will stay 10 till the end of its life, right? So that means if I do x equals 20, this is illegal because this is a final variable, so you cannot assign a different value to final variable, which means that x is now not overwritable. You cannot override the value of x. You cannot overwrite on it anything, right? It cannot be modified at all. And then there is statics, right? There is static declaration, which is another part of object-oriented programming, basically, where the value belongs more to the class than the object. So it's now if I basically do public int x, now this makes it more accessible to the object instead of the class. So it can be accessed only using obj.x, right? So now the variable belongs to an object instead of a class. But if I do static in x, that will make it accessible to the entire class. So if I were to make more objects inside of this class, like public main or something like public sum, something like that, right? Just for example, then I won't have to write obj.x. I can directly write x, right? There's also some things that like synchronized and stuff, synchronized, volatile, and transient, which I'll not explain right now. It is when I'll explain threading, but that is not a part of this tutorial. Threading will be a part of a different tutorial, which is a part of the advanced tutorial, not the beginner tutorial. So like we're still doing the basics, let's not get to that. So that was basically that for this. So that was basically it for well, modifiers, access modifiers in a class, right? Um, right, so now I'll teach you something very important, very, very important. Now, if you have ever gotten the scanner class, then you will see scanner sc equals new scanner system.in. Have you ever wondered what it exactly is? System.in. What do you do with system.in? What is this? It is a constructor, and without this constructor, it will not work. The entire object will not seem to work. Right? In fact, it won't even be declared. So that's where constructors come in. Now, constructors is a huge part. So if I were to do public tutorial, say, now this is a constructor for the class tutorial, right? Now, this is only used to initialize variables, so I can like get values into this. So like I can do int x equals to 0, and then I do this. That's it. That's basically it. And then when I do obj.x, I can access this variable very well. Maybe not. Wait, let me just quickly. Okay, seems like my cursor is gone. Yeah, there we go. So if I just pick this public index, now I should be able to access. Please access. Java, why Java? Why you do me like this, Java? Java, why you do me like this, bro? I'm correct, this should have worked very well. Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. I get it why you do me like this. I'm gonna hate you for it, Java. Because I didn't initialize it here. Right, now this gives no errors. Because now it belongs to the class. Now it belongs to the class. Now it belongs to the class, so it belongs to the whole thing because it belongs to this object, which is... This is a constructor. I don't have to create an object for this. This is not a constructor. I'll have to create an object for this. Simple as that. So I can also like change the values. So for example, if I were to now run this, and my thing is lagging a lot, right? So if I were to run this, right, I get 10, which is from my constructor, right? I can even change this. So if I were to do int num, right? Now this would require me to put a value here. See, in fact, it even gives this. Constructor tutorial and class tutorial cannot be applied to given types required int found no arguments. Reason, actual and formal arguments lists differ in length, which means we need to put an argument here. So let's go for 10. Or actually, let's go for 20 now because we've already seen 10. So now if I do this, now we should have 20 in our terminal window once I run this. I have run this and now we have 20 in our terminal window. Now that's perfect. So now we have seen how this works. We have seen how constructors will work. Now what is constructor? I think I told you that, but I'll tell it to you once more. Constructor is basically a sort of method which is only used to initialize variables or initialize your object and give it a certain value. This is useful in many different things. And note this thing, that the constructor name should always match the class name. You cannot create a constructor. For example, if I were to do constructor sum or sim for now, because I forgot. This is an invalid method declaration. Return type is required, right? But if I do tutorial, because that now takes it as a method, Java will now see that, oh, what's sum? I think the class is named tutorials. That's not related, so we need some return type. And there is no return type. What is going on here? So it'll give you an error, right? But if I do tutorial, it says, okay, public tutorial. Is that also the name of the class? Oh, yes, it is. Tutorial, tutorial, tomato, tomato. Okay. So this is a constructor, I guess. And then it'll say, okay, there's a constructor, put some value there. And that's it. That's basically it for constructors. There is nothing more to learn in constructors. Yeah, that's it. Uh, oh yeah, I can also create. So I can like create multiple things. So I can also do something like in Y. So what if I were to do something more like first name and last name, something like that maybe. So this is strings actually. String first, string last. Okay, let me just get rid of. Right. Now we can see here we have string first and string last, which is basically supposed to be string first name, string last name, and we have this X, which will be the concatenated yeah, oh yeah, I did it right. Concatenated version of first and last, right? So if I do something like Temmie and then Amodo, Temmie Amodo, right? And yeah, now if I ask that I want to see what I will get as my output, because now we have used our constructor with multiple parameters, we get this, Temiyamoto. Perfect. Most people don't get the pronunciation of my name right, which is kind of annoying sometimes. That's not on topic. So yeah, that was it for constructors. Should I move to encapsulation? Should I move to encapsulation? Should I move to encapsulation? I don't know if I should move to encapsulation. Okay, I'll be back in a moment. Just give me a minute. I'll be back. Alright, everybody, I'm back. So, now I've gotten a little thing here. So I've gotten this thing. Let's say get my method, or maybe I should set to something like my name, right? So I have this thing. I have created a private string my name. Here's one thing about encapsulation. Encapsulation is basically when you hide certain specific data from users. It's basically like securing your data, right? Basically, you have to make sure sensitive data is not available to users. And to do that, you need to, like, first of all, you need to create strings or like any variables, or like declare your class, and it's like basically any variables or attributes of your variable should be private. You should keep things private. For example, over here I have this string which I need to keep private because this is the data. This is the very sensitive data that I need to keep private. I don't want to share my name with people, right? So for that, I will use private, which means I give it a very restricted access only to this class. Nothing else should be able to access it, right? No other class. This class, other class should not be able to access everything I'm doing here. And another thing I need to do is use get and set values. So I can do public string set my name, right? I can do this. So this is basically get and set. I'll explain how get and set works, right? So I can basically do something like how exactly to explain this? Actually, instead of a string, I have to do this void set my name, and then right. This might get a little confusing, but I'll just write it down. So we use the this keyword. So this dot name, which is this name, equals to, and then we have to get a value here. So say string equals my name. Oh, I actually keep it small so I can avoid confusion. So to avoid any confusion, I will so this is small. So this dot name equals my name. This is becoming a little excessively difficult by any chance. Actually, I'll just move all of this over here, right? Just for example, just to show that the example purpose of this. There we go. So let me just create other dot obj, the other obj equals new obj, and then new other, right? Okay, so can you see what's going on here? If you can, I'll explain it to you. So basically we are trying to hide the data, right? So what we will do is that we cannot no longer see what's going on inside this. We cannot see the data going on inside this for name. Instead, we will have to access that data using these get set functions, right? Now remember, get is not exactly a sort of keyword. It's just a method, you can say, a way to do it. It's just the most proper way to do this. It's not exactly a keyword, remember that. This, on the other hand, this keyword uh, is a keyword. This one is a keyword, okay? So, now we can kind of set my name. So, for example, now what I can do is I can do obj dot set my name, and then I will put a parameter in here as required, and let's say Temmie, and I'll do obj dot get my name. Does this make sense to you? Basically, we have done everything here, and instead of showing this value, right, we are instead showing this value. So this value is still private to people, but this value is public. It'll make sense when I run the code, because, well, it can't exactly make sense to a human, but it does to a computer. As you can see, it works perfectly properly. This is because of the getter and setter in this that I've done here. Getter setter method. This is the more standardized method. It can be done anything. It can also be like creator, speaker, something like that. But I go for getter setter methods. That's how I learned it. Right? So yeah. So encapsulation is basically used only to like create class attributes, so that only class attributes can be like read only, right? That is if you use the get method, or write only if you use set, right? So like you cannot edit it. So basically the programmer can completely modify some part of the code without like completely breaking down everything else. So I don't have to like break down this thing. I just have to like change a bit here, maybe like change this, something like that. Whereas I don't have to do anything here in this huge thing. That's basically encapsulation. Basically, it increases the security of your data, you know? Right. Should we do inheritance now? Inheritance is basically a principle of Java object-oriented programming where one class can have attributes or different values from another class. So it's basically extending your main class. So I can say class other extends tutorial. Right? So I have my main class tutorial here, and here's an extension to tutorial, which is other. And for this we use the extends keyword. Right? Not very complex, it's very simple and very put together. I think. So I can share the attributes between these two. So let's say I will do something a little different now. So we just create a protected variable. First, which will be my first name. Right? Normally just the variables, but not only just the variables, but also methods in this. Right? So this is basically creating a subclass to it. Right, let me just remove all of this. Let's do something like we'll say public void my name, right? And then string name, and then first is equal to name, so I can do obj.myname, and then I can do Temmie, right? And this should print out Temmie, because what we do here is we just share these values. So I can take the values here and I can share it to my main class. That's basically inheritance, that we are sharing the values between these two. So like nothing is hidden between both of them, right? Although it is hidden to the other classes or something like that, right? You can change that as however you like it. So yeah, that's inheritance, I guess. One thing, if I do something like if this was instead private, what do you think will happen? And if you think that this will not be able to access it, this will not be able to access the first string, then you're right. This would not be able to access the first string. And if I were to set this to final, oh sorry, if I was to set not this, sorry, if I was to set this to final, then nothing would happen at all. This would not be able to inherit anything from this. This because it's final. It's not over. It cannot be overridden. It cannot be appended. Nothing. Right? There can be no extension to it. It cannot be overridden. Right? This is basically overriding the entire thing. You are extending to it. You're appending to it. And appending does not happen when something is set at a final rate. So that is why this has to be public, or it has to be protected. It's a public for this method. Right? Public is best. So that was it. That was basically inheritance. We've gone through encapsulation, inheritance. How much is that? Oh, only half an hour has been into the stream, and we're already done with that. So without further ado, should I take a break? I think we should keep going, right? I think we can finish it in this tutorial if we try. Okay, let's do this class another. And let's remove the inheritance from this. Right. Now let's say I have over here int a is equal to 10 and int b is equal to 20. Right? Right, I need to fix that too. Okay, so basically we have created an outer class here. What you see here is the outer class. Now we can create a class to the outer class, so that is the inner class. So basically we can do obj, and we can do other dot another, and then we can do object equals new other dot another, right? Oh wait, no, I messed up. Other dot new another. I forgot to move the foots up. Wait. Okay. Wait, no. Oh my god, why am I messing up? obj.new another. Finally. Right. So basically, we created other, we created another, we created other class, we created another class, and then we basically create objects for both of them. One of them is called obj, one of them is called object. I can create another one inside this. I can say one more, let's say. But of course, we will not make it this complicated. And I can do int y is equal to 30, right? And then I can do other dot another dot one more equals object dot new one more, and you can go on as much as you want. What happened? What? Oh, okay. My obj. You can go on as much as you want, and nobody's there to stop you. So what you could do potentially with this is that you could do system out println, and you could access the values of all of them, every single one of them. And it can go so long that it would tear through your file. It would tear through this page and reach probably somewhere else. And it could go long and long and long and basically forever, infinitely long, right? But we don't want that right now. So for now, just focus on what we're doing. So we can basically do obj dot a plus obj dot b. Wait, no. Object dot b, right? Right. So this basically called the outer class, right? Which is basically going to be like, yeah, this calls your outer class, which is other, and takes the a value from it. Then it goes to your inner class, which is and makes a object called object, and then it takes the b value. Then it goes to the even more inner class, and it creates my obj, and then it takes the y value from it. So I could even add a y to it. So I could do something like plus my obj dot y, and if I add 10, 20, 30, I should get 60. Right? There we go, 60. So that is basically using inner classes, where you just create classes to classes and work with those classes. That's basically inner objs. Hey viewer, how are you doing? Okay. So let's continue then. That was basically outer and inner classes. You can also create private inner classes, like in case you don't want this to be accessed by anything else, then you could do private inner class, and then both of these won't be accessed. Why will this not be accessed? That is because this is a class, is an inner class of this outer class, which is an outer class of this outer class. Right? So basically, this is the inner class of this, which is the inner class of this. And this is another class to the main class, which is this one. Right? So in simple languages, an inner class is a subclass or a secondary class created for your primary class, which can be created alongside your main class. Your main class, yeah. But if even one of them is private, then the rest won't be accessible. So that is why we will remove the private method from here. And there we go. So I think that was it then. No, no, no. There's more to it. You can even create, if you don't want just values, you can also create methods in here. For example, I can do like public int my method, right? Or like, let's go for public void my method actually. I don't know, stick to int, and then return 30, right? And instead of doing my obj.y, we do my obj.my method, right? And then when I run this, we should get 60 again. Yep, there we go, 60. So that's basically inner classes. Oh, would you look at that? We had 3 views, and we still have a concurrent viewer. Can you like the video? And don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. Go ahead, hit the like button. Alright, so was that it? No. We have one last thing before we finish the stream, which is basically gonna be the end of the basic tutorial. Then you will have learned all basics of Java that you need to know for the current time. And to end this perfectly, we will be going back to the basics, and we will be looking at how to dodge logical errors, which you will only see in the terminal, and do it a little more elegantly. So basically, let's say if I have a array, integer numbers is equal to let's say 10, 20, 30, right? And I want to access the 10th one of these, the 10th index in this. Is that possible? No, that's not logically possible. Why? Because the 10th index doesn't even exist. But Java will let you do that because Java is dumb. In fact, it will give you errors for not writing an S over here when you wrote an S over here. Java will let you do that. And later in the terminal, when Java goes to its next form, when it is done compiling and now it's interpreting, then realizes that, damn, well darn, there seems to be an error. The 10th index doesn't exist and I overlooked that. And then the interpreter tells the compiler, you missed this. Then the compiler is like, oh, I missed this. Throw an error. And then the interpreter says, okay, I will throw an error. And then the interpreter throws an error. And then you are shocked that, oh no, there is an error. And the interpreter errors are more annoying than the compiler errors. In fact, the compiler errors are easy to dodge, and when you get an interpreter error, it basically makes you want to throw away your computer. I mean, we don't want to do that, do we? So that is why a little something had been invented called try-catch. Try-catch will help you avoid all your errors and all your throwing away computers. Not only that, it will also let you know what errors you have made. But we won't be seeing all the errors that we have made because, well, I don't want to do that. And also because it's not necessary, so instead we'll be just doing system out println something went wrong. Although, for your curiosity, for your mere curiosity, you could also just do plus e, which is because we have made a variable e, which is exception type. The variable data type is exception, right? So that's how we're gonna work. But I don't want to do that. I just want to let e be itself. I don't care about e, right? Right, so now this index won't exist. Normally it would give us a out of bounds error, right? Index out of bounds error, but now it will give us something went wrong because we avoided that error. We said, no, I don't like that error, so just tell me that something is wrong. And then we'll look into it and be like, oh no, the index does not exist. So if I go to a more realistic index, which is 2, and then I run this, and now if I see, I should get 30 because that's on the second index, on the third index, because you know it goes 0, 1, 2. So it's basically the second index virtually, but if we see naturally, then it is on the third index for humans, not for computers though. So that was basically try catch. There's another thing which is called throw. When you basically throw. Wait, no, you don't throw anything. But before we get to throw, I'm gonna cover up finally, which is just another thing. So you can do system out println. So whether the try catch is finished or not, like whether you are safely able to execute this block of code or not, and you instead end up executing this block of code, this one will always execute. So we will always have try catch finished, right? So whether or not you will execute this block or this block is always going to execute, no matter what the consequences. Right? Now you could put anything in any of these blocks. So even if it was all correct, it would still give 30 and then give try catch finished. Right? And let's say if it was wrong, but if it was something like 4 doesn't exist, by the way. If you can't see it, then 4 doesn't exist. And then I do this, something went wrong, and then try catch finish. So in any circumstance, this will always happen. This will never not happen. There is no way this will never not happen unless you like don't give anything to it. So that's fun. Then you can like do something different, maybe. For example, if I were doing something like int age is equal to 16, right? And then I do if else. I think I taught you all if else in the first tutorial, so I don't have to do that once more, do I? Is less than equal to 16. Let's say less than 18, right? Less than equal to 18. Let's just go less than 18, right? If it's less than 18, then throw new arithmetic exception. You are underage for driving. What's your driving age in your country? What's the driving age in your country? Wait, was it not called an arithmetic exception? Oh wait, it's called an arithmetic exception, not arithmetic. Well, this just depends on English. My typing may make errors. And we do system.out.println, and here we will write no errors, so we'll just do you are eligible for driving. And no, this is not driving age in my country. Wait, do you guys know my country? Did I write in my bio? Oh wait, I did write. Right. So basically, if you're below 18, you will not be able to drive in my country, and if you are above 18, then you're able to drive. I think in America it was 16, but in Japan here, in my country, it's 18. You can only drive in Japan if you're 18. So let's not get to world politics. Let's just what happened. Oh wait, this is the error. I was like, how did it throw an error? And then I realized, wait, no, it was supposed to throw an error. So yeah, this shows an arithmetic exception, although there is no arithmetics going on here. But this is the exception I made. Arithmetic exception, you are underage for driving. You were underage for driving. That's basically it. That's how throw works. So you can just like throw your own arrows here and there and go bah. Otherwise, if I basically set this to 20, I'm 19, so if I set this to 19, so if I'm 19 and I set this to 19 and I do this, you're eligible for driving. So let me just clear the window and do this once more, so you don't see the error anymore. You're eligible for driving. Thank you, I know that. So that was exceptions in Java, and this concludes the live stream. This is the end of Java programming, the Java Basics crash course, part 2, and I will see you in the next stream. Keep programming with Java, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. Yeah, so that's it. I will look forward to seeing you in another stream, and for this stream, this will be basically it. We have seen everything that you need to see about Java, right? We have seen this. We have seen try catch. We have seen methods. We have seen what else have we seen? Wait, I don't remember. We have seen this: arrays, strings, and inner classes, inheritance, encapsulation, constructors, access modifiers, classes and objects. We always said classes and objects. Method parameters, method overloading, scopes of Java, recursion, and that's it. That's basically it. Yeah, that's all we saw. So that is what we've seen in 2 tutorials. That was it for Java Basics, and I will see you in another tutorial. For the next tutorial, I think I will be going for something more different, and I think I should go for Python again, or maybe I should try something different in Java. Maybe I should make an advanced tutorial for Java, or maybe I should just stick to Python. What do you think? Or should I teach you another language like HTML, CSS, or something? I was actually believing that I should go for Python again, but then I don't really have any more content for Python that I want to teach, especially because most of them are just libraries, and libraries is not exactly what I would want to teach on a stream. If you do want to learn more about other languages in Python and stuff, or web dev or something, then you could join my Discord server. I will put the link in my bio. Right, link will be in the description for my Discord server, as well as it will be in the comments. Right, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in another video. Till then, keep programming.